Mhm. Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you are doing great. And thank you for making the time to be here today. I would like to remind that our topic is panel discussion about IE in mobile development world. And for today, we have a huge number of activities. But let's break it down. Firstly, I will say a few words about our community, about our goals, about our future plans. After that, it will be a panel discussion with our experts. And the last but not least, it will be game like quiz on the platform Kahoot. I hope that you know this platform. And by the end of our event, I hope you can walk away with knowing better our community and find some good ideas after our panel discussion. So, without further ado, let's get started. And now, let me share my screen. Mhm. So I hope that you can see my screen. Okay, and I hope that everybody see my screen. But before I do deep dive into about our community, let me ask where from? Could you please use our chat that I can see our participants today? Mhm. So you can use a YouTube channel or via community chat that we can see. Spain, Poland, great. A lot of people today. Okay. And um, um, also, my second question will be: do we have external people on the call? Maybe not only EPAMers today with us. Also, guys, could you please use our chat that we can see who today with us? Mhm. Okay, and let me check. Uh-huh. Okay, so thank you. And I would like to start by talking about our core team. So let me show you our core team. So we have 4 people in our core team. It's Denis, Associate Principal Software Engineer, Alexander Denisov, Chief Software Engineer, Artem Bagritevich, Chief Software Engineer, and me, Svetlana Artemova, Senior People Experience Specialist. And you can ask why we decided to create the community and who are we now. Let me tell you that our business value is engagement. Bring together people around a common interest around mobile development. And as for technologies, so we are working with Android, iOS, Flutter, React Native, .NET Mobile, and Kotlin multi-platform technologies. I hope that you remember all of these technologies because after panel discussion, we will have Kahoot game where will be one of these questions, yeah, with which technologies we are working with. And after it, let me show you our goals. So we have 4 main goals. It's local networking for mobile developers. Also, we are thinking about enhancing mobile expertise, also about cross-location knowledge sharing and cross-technology knowledge sharing. And now let me show you our community in numbers. So we have in 12 countries, in 16 cities. You can see such countries like Turkey, USA, Germany, Georgia, Lithuania. And if you are from EPAM, after this event, I can share with you our links, yeah, and our spaces where you can find all information about us. And also, we have a community board. So let me just be sure. You don't have. Okay, let me present another screen for you. So it will be about community board. Okay, and also we have this community board, and here you can find our active contributors. And who knows, maybe one day you also will be on this stage and you will be in our favorite contributors. Okay, and I need to again stop sharing my screen. Okay, and come back to the share screen and show you again my presentation. And now it's time to speak about our channels. So we have Apple Treats podcasts. Also, we have Mobile People Digest, YouTube channel. We are community page here on We Are Community platform. We have our own website, Mobile People News. Mobile People Talks, Medium. I hope that you know this source also, and our big conference, Mobile People Day. By the way, on YouTube you can find our presentations, yeah, on this conference. And as for now, yeah, about YouTube, on this slide, yeah, you can see how many people, yeah, we have on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on Medium, and also on Via Community. You can see that for now, yeah, we have more than 2,400 members. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier about our future plans, we are planning to continue community expansion, conduct external local events, we hope, also increase the quality of content and to drive a recognition program of active members and local leads. Okay, so I hope that it's the last part about community information, and it's time for our panel discussion now with our speakers. And now let me just say a few words about all of them, but let me even maybe add them to our stage. Mhm. Okay, and let's start with Michal. Michal, hello. Uh, Let me introduce you. Michal, solution architect, Android competency tech leader, and active contributor of our community. And also we have Denis Tazidinov, Apple platforms evangelist, host of Apple Trees podcast, and mobile people community leader. And our third speaker and expert is Alexandra Aplachikov, lead software engineer and mobile people community leader in Poland. Okay, guys, so stage is yours, please.
Hello, hello, everyone. Can you hear
Hello.
me well?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's
Let's
maybe wait.
begin. Yeah,
Let's maybe
uh,
wait for Dennis.
yeah. Let's wait Dennis, but during
Yeah.
waiting Dennis, let me
Yeah,
say that on this talk we also expected that Alexander Denisov will be, but
with us. Yep.
with us, but we didn't write an AI algorithm that replacing him, and that's why guys asked me also participate. Maybe on this talk
We
I
we
will
had
be.
the AI, but unfortunately, Sasha is only one Sasha, so we choose another.
We
Sasha.
choose another Sasha, yeah, and replaces this Sasha. But today, maybe I will be more in the role of moderator. Maybe I will find some interesting questions. And please, everyone who is on this meeting, we can ask anything related to AI world to our chat. Let's make our discussion more engaging. Yeah. As I know, Michal, today you participated in EMEA Tech Talk. You also shared something interesting related to AI. Unfortunately, I missed that and I don't see any recording and any public link.
The
Maybe you
recording
can
will
share
be
some insights about it.
yeah, the recording will be shared, I think, quite soon. So there will be still option to watch it. So during that talk, I mostly focus on the how to do the prompting in the right way and what we can expect from the prompting when we do this wrongly, or from the answers when we do the wrong prompting, and how to fix it. So some things like describe step by step to, for example, understand what exactly the AI do to to provide the answer, which is a quite useful trick to help us to understand uh, what mistake we do, or what kind of information is missing for the AI to allow us to get the answer in the way we would like to have it. So things like that, for example, and also review of some tools which we can use for the development in general. So not only for mobile, but also for other cases. Hello, Denis.
Yeah, hello, Dennis. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Hello.
But by the way, Michal, maybe as a following question for you, what's the most interesting and useful tool you can recommend for mobile development for now at the moment?
To be honest, difficult question because okay, for example, for Android development, I start really liking the bot which we have in Android Studio. It's much nicer than searching in the documentation. Unfortunately, in some cases, is a little bit, say, dummy.
But how is it possible? Because bot is not available in Poland.
Everyone has his own solution. So yeah, not all. I can be in Poland, but my laptop can be everywhere.
Yeah, I see. I see. Please, guys, reach Michal. He can explain how to use quantum teleportation and put your laptop in each
In
place.
different areas. Yeah, so everything is
Danis,
possible.
the similar question for you. What tools can you recommend for iOS
Okay.
and any mobile development?
So since we're talking about the development part, I'm still thinking that we will need to cover not just the development aspects, but other like the use of this. But let's start with the statement that Apple currently doesn't provide any tools by its own. So like Xcode doesn't have out of the box any integrations with any AI, generative AI tools. That being said, there are a couple of projects to integrate with GitHub Copilot, so you can find an extensions. And there are a couple of even talks. I was just last week I was reviewing the talks from NS Spain, where some guys were just creating simple source code editor extension for Xcode in order to simplify access to the ChatGPT using basically using Xcode. From my experience, I wouldn't say that I do have any recommended tool because in most cases they are quite okay. They do a lot of great stuff in terms of finding the information or making some kind of the solution, but that works on really simple things. And as soon as we get into more complicated topics, then these like hallucinations come into play, and then you're basically like looking into a piece of code and thinking like, what exactly is this? I mean, like, what are these methods? Like, they do not exist on this API and so on. And therefore, my recommendation would be probably try something like Copilot Xcode extension, and think for yourself right now. I mean, I wouldn't say like, hey, just take this tool and use it. I would say like, try this tool and evaluate, does it fit you or not. So that would be my recommendation right now.
Guys, what do you think how to deal with the question of security? I know that some projects do not recommend to use Copilot because of security. Yeah, we're not able to share our algorithm. How to handle it?
Michal?
Let's say it really depends, yeah, because if we have the company which we generally block the usage of AI, this can be quite problematic. So this is one thing. And if we have this kind of restrictions, we rather not able to use anything. Some companies are open to have own implementation or own deployment of some solution, like, for example, Llama from Meta, which is quite, let's say, interesting way. And to be honest, probably I mentioned it even last time. For me, it's quite strange that the company which collecting all the data about us provides something which is, let's say, the most secure AI solution which we have right now, and allow to, let's say, implementation, allow to deployment in your own environment. So so this is quite funny fact, and I think this is one of the options which we can use to for development. There are some tools like Tab9, which also provide some local local distribution. So this can be also used if we need support from the code review or check from the security perspective. But in both cases, we need quite heavy infrastructure, which can be not the solution which we can use always. So,
Right. I would add that Hugging Face also provides you with the tools in order to run large language models on your setup. But as Michal said, in order to run something which will be at least on some level comparable to what, for example, ChatGPT 3.5 provides you, or 4, you need, like, your laptop will not work, your server in your like local premises will not work, because they need a lot of power, they need a lot of expensive GPU cards and so on. That being said, you still can try running these smaller models, and they might suit your needs actually, because they potentially can solve your problems. OpenAI actually, and I think Microsoft's access to OpenAI through Azure, they have an option to run your prompts without providing that information back into their like AI database. So they have that in their terms of conditions. For some projects which even like require you to use some secure tools, that might be enough. But well, again, you need to verify each time you access any kind of AI tool. You need to see how your data will be used, and you need to make sure that you are comfortable with the terms and conditions which they provide. So in most cases they will use something what you type there or pass there. In some cases they will like allow you to work, let's say, independently, and in some cases you can use your data to train your, let's say, version of the model. So they will improve the model on the data you supply to the model, but that data will not be shared with any other customers. So again, that's a really complicated topic in terms of security, but there are a couple of options right now, including using the models with this limited scope. I assume they will be more expensive to operate, but
I think I think also this is the market, let's say, which need to be addressed by more and more tools to provide this kind of privacy, because right now, okay, we have thousands of tools which support us from the AI perspective, but the main blocker is the privacy.
Definitely. And speaking of privacy and these tools, ability to run it on your devices is actually very crucial. And I think, like, while the OpenAI is now like building this huge model which runs on the huge data farm, the data center farm, and like it consumes a lot of resources, it might be a time for smaller models to rise. And like if we strip out the information which we do not need and focus, for example, we build a model which works specifically with the code, or even we work with the specific programming language and we strip everything else out, this model will be smaller, I assume, and we can run it with your setup probably maybe even locally on your machine. So like we currently have models which can run on Mac, and like again I'm still referring to the Hugging Face, and they have a lot of examples of how to run the models locally. So this idea of having the model smaller, well, less impressive in terms of providing great responses to generic questions, but rather tailor it for your specific needs, will be beneficial in this case. It will be private, it will be running locally, and it's more controlled. So I think that's the time for these models to like gain some attention from the developers.
Yeah, and I think let's say the time of optimization of the models which we have, for example, for voice assistance, it's coming for the other models, because I think the Google one is quite small to analyze your voice when you use the assistant on your device. So it
Voice
even
assistants
recognize what you are
yeah.
saying without connecting to the network, or this connection is, let's say, not needed to be that wrong.
So both Google Assistant and Siri can now run locally, and moreover, not just recognize the your speech into text, but rather like reconstruct the text and understand what you're asking. These are still limited in terms of what can be run locally, but it's still already like there is a lot of happening locally. So again, this kind of optimization can be applied to the language models, and more stuff can be happening locally, preserving privacy.
Yeah, but also what is good from the performance perspective, these current models which you mentioned, they fit in memory of the phone, so they are used from RAM, even not need fully from RAM, so they are quite fast also because of that.
What you mentioned, for me, it sounded like a new update for Android Studio bot that will not only search documentation and will provide you a working solution and do it
regarding, let's say, working solution of any kind of language.
It's too early,
let's say, a long discussion. We can...
But guys,
Let me just make one step back. Speaking of these machine models running locally, so I just wanted to mention that one of the small announcements which Apple made on WWDC previously this year is that they have new predictive keyboard. Essentially, they like now do after autocorrection and prediction on the keyboard, and that was like mentioned quite like, yeah, we did something some to improve there, and that uses AI and machine learning. Essentially, they built very small language model into keyboard on the iOS. So that's already happening on the device, and it works perfectly well for English. I mean, they didn't. I'm not sure which languages does that model support. We need to rewatch that, but it's a small set of languages. But what we are trying to, with Michal and me were trying to say, that it's already possible to put a lot of stuff locally, and this potentially this is the future for the privacy preserving AI even in the development. I mean, if we can do that with the general keyboard predictions, then probably we can build something maybe more powerful for the Mac or for the PC in order to predict what you're trying to type in your development environment.
Yeah. Also, what is quite interesting regarding the voice usage and voice analysis is the GPT support for voice. I'm not sure if you try already, but let's say comparing to the assistant, I feel like, okay, it understands everything, understand the context, and you can use the ChatGPT without keyboard quite easily to find the things, even when you are cooking something in the kitchen. Yeah, maybe not always the recipe is the best, but if you need some other information, probably it
So
can be
now
quite useful.
it can analyze an images, as far as I know, right? You can send it
Yes,
an image,
yes,
it can
analyze
scan it
the
and
images.
understand. It can understand the voice, and there are more and more features packed into the GPT model, like which were previously part of just separate models. So they are now like combining like huge model of everything. So I would rather think, is it a step towards like the AI, actual
Let's
AI?
say they are still like a plugin. So if you are using
Yes.
a model for analysis of the images, you cannot use the other one. Okay,
Yeah.
you always can use the GPT itself, but in each of them. But if you, for example, need to analyze the data from Excel, for example, or analyze some trend, you need to use one plugin. To generate image, you need to use another one. To analyze the image and understand what is on the image, another one. And I think still the website of ChatGPT is not supporting the accessibility in the right way, which is the most irritating thing for me, that this really powerful tool which can support people is not supporting really important target.
That is true.
Michal, I have maybe a question for you. In our local chat, Michal shared one article and said that AI helped him to write it. Okay, I got it, I understood.
Write it.
Yeah, I understood that some guys usually rely on help of ChatGPT, ask to maybe write article on some topics, and then you manually edit it, add some images, maybe re-edit, again ask ChatGPT to provide some more context, explain something, and usually it takes a lot of time. But Michal did it in another way. Could you share more how you write your article?
So generally the idea was to create the article about Android 14 features, and I think about the challenge to see if the AI can do something like that for me. Unfortunately, the whole process of setting the stuff took a while because it required to first set a make to search the internet. Unfortunately, I hate the Bing integration in ChatGPT. The searching there is, let's say, not my favorite way of searching the stuff from the internet. But first I asked, write the script which search for some specific topics which I list in the first prompt into in the internet to find 3 or 4 web pages. Don't remember right now. Take the content from there. First, analyze the content if this is valid and actual from let's say article perspective, and then based on this content create the chapter for the article. Then when we had the chapters, it put them together and make in one style and create the introduction and conclusion. Also, the search was used to find the right images in the internet. So it put the images, and here is the only place where, let's say, I do more checks. I do the checks than in others because the text I think is pure from the AI. The images were selected by AI, like 5 images per chapter, and I choose the one which goes to the article, and that's all. So instead of spending time of researching on my own, I spent few hours, I think like 2-3 hours to create the script which generated the article in the end. And this is how it looks like. The the thing here is that I, even with this power of the script and building, let's say, separate sections for the article first, I feel that ChatGPT can be still only a support for us to create the content if we need, or review our content from example, from English perspective, from style perspective, etc. But here we have also, let's say, dedicated plugins for that and tools. So I cannot say that even after this experiment and, let's say, quite good article in my opinion, I will be using the only ChatGPT to generate the future articles.
Oh my God.
For example, I tried to create the article about Jetpack Compose using the AI, and quite similar approach, to be honest. But the technical part, when we have a lot of code examples, when we have the something which changing a lot, and we have, let's say, 2 or 3 years of history about that, from alpha version to current one, cause that even with the searching in the internet, the article provides sometimes fresh information, sometimes old information, sometimes something totally experimental and not existing. Sometimes it took some article where the samples of the code probably also generated by ChatGPT because they haven't worked at all. And I think this is the problem. But on the other hand, when I see current journalists, at least in Polish, for Polish papers, newspapers, I feel that, okay, this is the place where I would like to have the ChatGPT.
Just want to highlight, you mentioned one important thing, which is we need to be aware of that at this particular moment, the more and more content generated by ChatGPT or other tools are being flooded to the internet. And the thing is that these models are currently learning on the content from the internet. And when you feed the model something which it already created or created by other AI model, they sometimes are not able to distinguish that, and therefore they are actually learning on their own work, and that actually decreases their capabilities. So I read a couple of articles recently, and that saying that sometimes we see that even like ChatGPT performs a little bit worse than it was performing previously. That might be a result of ChatGPT eating its own products previously, and that's essentially
use it on the content to train.
Yes.
Yes, this is one of the things. Another thing is that I think because a lot of regulations which start appearing through the world, we have also the scenarios that it should be more polite. It should it should not do the jokes about Polish people or other things. I don't know why 3 months ago it was quite easy to generate the jokes about us. Nowadays, you get the prompt, please confirm that you are a human and you need to fight with this prompt for a week because you ask about something like joke about Polish citizens or other and I think also the actions like that where they try to avoid some kind of content cause that we have worse outputs because someone limited.
Just additional context here, like for those who do not know, that all these language models, they rely a lot on human efforts, because the content which we pass to that model needs to be marked. Like you need to segment some places. So there are still a lot of people sitting on the texts and highlighting like this is the place, this is the name, this is the time, and so on. So this markup process is still done manually, and we rely on a lot of unskilled workers marking up the texts for the texts, images, videos, anything. So everything which comes to the to train the model goes through the through actual people who are doing that. And I think they might also have some instructions in order to highlight this is
good, this is bad.
Yeah, exactly. So we rely on something which is we rely on other people in terms of that, and that creates the trained model. Well, yes, both OpenAI, Microsoft, all the companies are now trying to automate that and decrease reliance on the people, but it's still there, and their efforts to decrease people involvement might in turn as well worsen the results. I mean, we're not yet sure if we skip the whole people process from the model training, will that actually improve the quality of the models? That's still a question.
Yeah. On the other hand, what trick is quite useful when you use any kind of tools like that is to ask the Bard GPT to check the answer which was provided. So verify if this is, let's say, right. Verify if this is the length is correct. Which of the answers, if you ask about the variance, is in your opinion the best to for example, the audience, or which will be the viral. And here, based on my experience, let's say ChatGPT is much better than me to, let's say that, okay, this will be the content which will be clicked on the LinkedIn or any other kind of social media.
It understands us better than we do.
Yeah. Or maybe understand better the others than we.
Yeah.
Does it mean
We
that
are
you
programmers, so come on, we are not the humans.
does it mean that you learned a lot from ChatGPT?
Could you repeat?
And does it mean that you learned a lot from ChatGPT? And
Uh, Rather, okay. I'm not using the ChatGPT as a source of knowledge. Still, I prefer books which are theoretically written by human, because it's also not that easy nowadays to take the new book and be sure that okay, it was written by the author.
but let's
Uh,
say for basic concepts, it's not comparable to how much you spend time on reading a book.
but for example, if I have problem with explaining something to my kids, or I have problem to provide some post in social media, I use ChatGPT for support. And if you and the way how I prefer to use it is to take some content which I know that is valid and incorrect, and ask ChatGPT, please, based on that, uh, describe me this stuff, like describe this stuff for my kids. So, for example, cover some biology stuff, or I have no idea what else, but biology was, let's say, one thing which we covered last week. So
I would only want to mention here that while this is all working great in most cases, we need to make sure that we still validate the results of what ChatGPT providing. Because let me jump up on one thing. So these hallucinations, which are obviously currently the most problematic thing about language models, is like there was an article and the discussion about that. So one lawyer in US used ChatGPT to generate the brief for the case which this lawyer submitted to court, and ChatGPT created beautiful brief with the reference cases, with the case numbers and the names, and this lawyer did not check those things up, and those were all fake. So essentially, a lawyer was now has to pay a significant fine, and I mean he's not disbarred, but it's like it's significant push on his reputation. So when you try to use ChatGPT to explain you something and you do not know if that's true or not, that could be a problem, because ChatGPT might basically say you something which is absolute false. And therefore, I think we still need you to understand the topic, and you can use that to explain it in a simple words, but you still like go through it. Okay, that's still up to the point rather than totally made up stuff. So it can help, but it cannot replace the subject matter experts right now, because
for sure, and this is the reason why I'm using, let's say, some valid sources as a.
yes,
Based on that, please prepare me this and that. Because if we ask and we use ChatGPT like we are googling for the information, usually what we get as an output, okay, it looks even like something real, like you mentioned. It has the structure which you expect. You have some numbers of the cases, but they were generated by the chat, because
exactly.
it's probably based on some similar document. Okay, this is the structure. Okay, here I need to generate some dummy number. Here, describe the cases, etc. And that's it. And even if we have, let's say, the connection to the internet, my feeling in case of Bob Bart and ChatGPT is that we also need to validate what is the source of this magic information, because sometimes we can get some totally dummy thing.
For myself, I started doing some application on Flutter, yeah, and did serverless solution cloud database. I'm not expert in this. Yeah, I have a friend, yeah, who advised me to do something, who advised me to try something, but I still have a lot of stupid questions and have not much time to read the books. But let's say I have basic knowledge how to design, for example, database scheme, and I asked ChatGPT to help me. I designed the initial scheme, explained what I want to have, and I asked ChatGPT to provide me review this scheme, maybe advise me, add some fields. Of course, Chat often forgets about its fields, provides something not correct, but also provided very good advice for me that I also tried to use in this application. And I was very happy to work with him. It's like a colleague in junior or middle level, and especially it's good help if you are not super expert but have basic knowledge with some technology.
Mm-hmm.
What we've did recently with one of our colleagues, we actually built, let's say, like automatic code reviewer, which can, and we made a prototype, like basically add that to the GitHub Actions, and essentially what it does, it gives your diff to the ChatGPT, it verifies that and provides your recommendations in terms of what should be fixed and so on. And we tried this tool with several like commits there, and while it's not perfect and while sometimes it provides like bogus recommendations, in several cases it actually suggested us the changes which we're not expecting, but which were actually correct. So it captured, like, for example, misuse of the variable, or like that we forgot to add, like essentially we were doing something and we forgot to we added to one collection, but we forgot to add to another. The tool actually understood that, and we were like, oh, great. But it also mentioned a couple of other aspects which we can do differently in order to make the code more beautiful and sometimes more correct. So that was actually a very fun thing to do. And what I'm thinking, like, if you add this kind of automation in order, like, take a look on this code, give me your recommendations, not by changing those, but give me recommendations. That's then, well, that's when ChatGPT might actually improve your performance. So you're not relying on that to write code for you, or relying on that just redo the code as you wish, but rather give me, like, be one of those who reviews my PR. And you can just drop the recommendations which are not useful, because, well, obviously sometimes they are, but you can take, like, okay, well, that recommendation is great, you can implement that. And from our perspective, maybe these, like, let's say, gradual use of AI might significantly improve your performance in terms of, like, speed up the code review, like maybe improve the code, and you will learn from that as well. So you will grow as a developer having these recommendations. Next time you'll probably not be doing the same thing. So that's the approach which can be used right now in the development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to be honest, this is quite useful when you, for example, need to check the code for the students and you don't have time. So this is one of the use cases for that. On the other hand, let's say when we are discussing about the code reviews. Also, what we can see quite often as a reviewer, it also provides the fixed code which applies some changes. And I'm not sure if you have the same experience, but for me, each time when I copy paste this code and try to compile it, even if it was one class without any dependencies, it usually require quite big refactoring to be compiled.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, don't try to, like, use code as is. Try to get recommendations. And in that case, I think currently tool works much better, because at first it's much easier to drop some of these recommendations. On the other hand, you can still get some useful things, even if you, like, quite experienced developer. So you might see something which will be relevant to you. So
Yeah, on the other hand, it's quite good tool which can describe you the code, what this code
Also,
do, and if you fight with some legacy system, like I don't know, COBOL or whatever, ChatGPT can be really good expert for you. No, still not sure about the quality of the output, but based on my, let's say, small experience with that, looks like it's not that bad as I expected.
I'm not sure if audience knows the language Perl, which was popular many years ago. That
To explain how the length looks like, probably it was designed in the way that someone throw the cat through the
yes,
keyboard,
exactly,
and what was written on the screen start to be hello world in this language.
exactly. So this language is famously known as write once, read never language, and maybe ChatGPT would be really helpful to understand what the Perl script which you're looking into actually does. Because there were a couple of jokes like here is the Perl script, I'm not sure what it does, and somebody posted that on the internet, and what that Perl script actually does it executes rm dash rf slash command, but you cannot see that in the script. So like and some people do that on their machines and like lose all their data and so on. So it was fun, and therefore I think like for the languages which you like similar to that, you might need some help. So again, explaining the code in this particular aspect might be really beneficial.
I've heard that Perl specialists are the most expensive specialist in the world because of salaries and because they all on pension
Maybe
and
it
do
changed
part-time
nowadays
job.
because we have GPT.
Yeah, so now probably that might change exactly because nobody will write new Perl scripts right now. Hopefully, nobody will write new Perl scripts right now. I mean, we need to save our future generations from that. That's for sure. But in order to understand the existing ones, hopefully ChatGPT will do the good work now. I mean, or some other model.
But the same we have with regex. Yeah, if you have quite
Yes.
long regex.
Danis, I've heard that you also made experiments by rewriting iOS application to Android or vice versa.
Right.
Can you share more details?
Yeah, so we had a hackathon at EPAM, and one of the things which we were trying, so there were a lot of teams working on that, and my team was working on one specific aspect. So we wanted to understand, can we use ChatGPT or any other language models to speed up the development of two versions of the like mobile application for iOS and Android. So how we typically do that now, we use Flutter or React Native, like and build two separate applications from one base of the source. And well, we will not get into fights in regards like Flutter versus native right now. My idea was, can we have the benefits of having Flutter in terms of smaller efforts, smaller costs, and still get the native applications with the smaller costs of like cross-platform development? And we were trying two parts of the team had tasks. So one team was taking iOS source code and converting that to Android using ChatGPT, and the other team took Android source code and was converting that to iOS. So long story short, what we have now, conversion from iOS to Android was more performant. We had much more successful conversions happening rather than from Android to iOS. It's maybe too early to make actual conclusions why that happens. Maybe because of code examples which are on the internet, maybe because of the models. Maybe we don't know. So it's again not to bring any holy wars here. It's just what our team was able to achieve. On the other hand, we still have a lot of things with the UI, and the new UI frameworks such as Swift UI and Jetpack Compose are much better in terms of conversion, because the code was being converted quite okay, and we saw a lot of great results there. And as always, the code which was like related to the logic part was converting perfectly, like almost perfectly. There were like very small amount of changes you had to do with your own hands. It was understanding, for example, network frameworks of the iOS, and it was able to find the appropriate replacements in Android. And those replacements were not just like line by line replacements, but rather with the architecture of Android application. So it was really good experience. It still requires you to know both platforms, but you can, for example, have a team building iOS application and small team tuning the Android part after the conversion. So we were able to achieve, I think, like from like optimistically saying 20-30% savings on that, but it will definitely depend on the specific project, because the project we were converting was kind of like it was a mock-up e-commerce application, and we think we will still be able to achieve a lot of great results with that. So we were not using any like specially crafted tool like which you can push a button in your development environment and it does everything by itself, but we were rather like having conversion class by class, and we were like asking separate questions to the ChatGPT and then like doing some manual code changes afterwards. And I think if you are not trying to get like this one button does it all and you can still work with your own hands, in that particular case you will have an opportunity to run this particular process very efficiently, and you can still save a lot of time on this, like building two separate applications with two different code bases, but still saving time and efforts on the conversion.
But what about other multi-platform approach? Do you think you developed it faster than on your platform, Flutter application?
Well, again, I think this is a polarized topic. I have my own opinion here, but I would say that we can do faster with Flutter. I'm not sure that will be better in every case. Let's assume, like, I will not get into more details here because we probably can have additional panel talking about that, and we will be arguing and screaming at each other for a long time. But
we need such.
Yes, we will need more experts. Yes, and I think we can bring somebody from the React Native still, or maybe even Xamarin, and there will be even more screaming and shouting across the
and
across
put
the
us
panel.
Together in one room.
Yes. Yes. Now we're sitting like quite like far away from each other, and so that might help. So in my thoughts, I would say that we can do a lot with Flutter. We can do quick, fast, and even like with a good quality. But some cases will still require you to have truly native applications, especially if you are running in the constrained environments. For example, like Apple Watch, or maybe new upcoming spatial computing devices, or like previously called VR or AR headsets. They have a lot of power, but you still need to use that power very, very carefully. You need to take every piece of that in order to run your application efficiently. In that case, you might want to tune your code very precise, and I don't know, you might want to run like very specific application on one hardware and very targeted application on the another hardware, and that would be my opinion. And by the way, ChatGPT will be able to help you with that in order to convert that code to the specific platform.
Yeah. And I think we had the question how to write the effective high-performance AI application on the mobile devices. And I think still here, the only way to do this, if it's generally possible, is to use the really low-level native code, or even use the tools which allow us to use GPU and stuff like that on the device. But another problem here is that if we use all the resources at once, we start draining the battery really, really fast, which is...
We need to be very careful with that. And what we were trying to do a couple of times, so Apple like investing in AI, in on-device AI heavily. So they have like their chip has the neural engines, which are build core ML framework, which is like you can convert existing models into core ML, which are tailored for the device, and you can fine tune it later. Like for example, decrease quantization, like make it maybe less precise, but still like being able to run on the hardware and save the battery and everything. And I think eventually we will see these LLMs coming to the device. And I mean, as I said already, we already have that one in the iOS 17 with the keyboard. I mean, it's not the same as ChatGPT, but it's essentially from the same family of the machine learning models. So we will see a lot of more use cases for that. And my main prediction here is that instead of general AI models, there will be tailored models. For example, Apple Photos can detect people, and now it can detect pets, and like it can detect specific pet, like your dog, and it can differentiate from other dogs, even of the same breed, and the cats and everything. And like this model runs there, and nobody thinks that this is AI actually, but it's actually a sophisticated AI model which runs locally on your device. Like keyboard, again, it was AI previously. Like if you touch the screen, it needs to understand what button you're touching, not just by like comparing coordinates, but rather comparing to what you are typing, because maybe you just like your finger didn't press specific button, but it will adjust that accordingly, and it will learn that too. So a lot of stuff happening there already, and we will probably see. Oh, there are rumors, for example, that Apple will have their own Apple GPT in next operating system releases next year, and hopefully, like again, I'm not sure, but hopefully Siri will get some overhaul with the new language models, because as of now, well, let's be honest, it falls behind in terms of understanding what you're saying, and like you cannot even do two things with one request. I know, like I will not be saying it right now because Siri is listening to me right now, and hopefully it did not respond right now, because now it can respond to just word of the name of that assistant without the hey part, and so it can now just trigger for something, and you need to say specific like do this, and then like separate request do that. And I would like say, like, I don't know, turn on the lights and turn up the music and maybe close the garage door, something like that, within one sentence. It still cannot do that right now. And well, that, how simple is that?
Come on,
I mean,
Siri.
Don't say that aloud.
Yeah, but yeah. One thing, we have, let's say, good models like ChatGPT, BART, etc., and we are using them, I think, during last year, and I don't see, at least till now, some big jump for the voice assistant. Like have this kind of support on the voice assistant level, which generally cause that when ChatGPT start understanding your voice, something awesome happen.
Yeah, I'm still like with that said, I'm still concerned about privacy. I mean, some people who know me at EPAM always trying to poke me about my like focus on privacy, and they are trying to say like, oh yeah, maybe Apple is not that like it's not respecting your privacy, and like always poking about that. And there was a lot of discussion about that. So the more we rely on the ChatGPT and the other models, the more I'm worried about everything I say to that model. Right now, yeah, I'm using ChatGPT very carefully, and I will like always use something generic. I will not be using any production project questions with ChatGPT. I will be always looking like for the general information and trying to understand that. But it's still like the more we'll be relying, the more it will get from us, and that will result in a lot of information coming to that and knowing more about us than we probably expect it to. I hope that Apple, and then maybe Google as well, will be working on the models which are privacy preserving models. So it might be having some like knowledge about me stored locally, and some general knowledge stored somewhere in the cloud, and that this knowledge will not be shared with the cloud. And I don't know how easy will be that to be implemented, but again, we know that Apple, Google, and Meta are quite big companies, and they have a lot of great engineers, and probably they could solve that somehow. I mean, that's not something impossible from my understanding. And with all the ChatGPT, these plugins, attachments, and everything which we can connect to it, I think it's still possible to build something which will be still having a lot of information of the general world publicly available, and still know your information and submitting that to you, and without disclosing that to other parties and even to the vendor itself. So that hopefully we will see that in coming years.
I have another topic, maybe the question. Today I read an article about some AI startup that will replace HRs for doing pre-screen interview. Yeah, it's like a video chat with someone that check your basic knowledge, basic skills, and then proceed with the next step to the official interview with your company. And the first maybe question, what do you think about this way of developing AI that replace interviewers? And maybe the second question, what do you think if the candidates will start use AI to, let's say, pass these interviews?
I'm sorry, let me go first here. There are these two topics, like two parts of this question that both have heavy influence on me. First, let's start with the interviewer part, and I will also give the chance to Michal to think on that. My main concern with AI being first pre-screen part is potential bias. So since the AI is still built by humans, it can have some bias built in, and based on your responses, it can measure you differently depending on your native language, because you're responding in English in a way that somehow describes your regions. It can do something in regards to your ethnicity, because of how you talk to that model, and that struggles. That I think it's an important struggle, that it can discourage you, and you will not be able to talk to the human before. After this pre-screen, because it will just say no, you're not fitting our profile. But maybe that's bad. So I really struggle with the idea of AI making a decision which affect humans. I mean, we already live in that world, but it's still I'm really concerned about that, and we need to make sure that this will not happen. I'm not sure we will be able to have that kind of certainty that the AI will not discourage people based on some undisclosed things. It will not. It still will not be using only your skills. I assume it will still be using some its past knowledge or something. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. And as regards of candidates using AI, that already happens, and that happens a lot. So people tend to cheat, and I do interviews at the company, and I already had a lot of cases when you see that the person having the glasses, and the screen is reflecting there, and you see that person typing your question to the ChatGPT. I mean, you see the UI of the ChatGPT website. So
previously it was Google, right now ChatGPT.
Yeah, well, I mean that could be Google. Yeah, but once I even had the person who connected that to read aloud the responses from the ChatGPT, but I think they were hoping that it will go through their headphones, but for some reason headphones disconnected, and for out loud the computer was reading answer to my question to the candidate, and the candidate was that's some kind of technical mishap here, and that was fun. I mean, you still see those candidates right now, because if people using ChatGPT, it still provides additional pause between your question and the response, and you see that they are actually answering. I mean, honestly, you can still hear the answer which is created by ChatGPT. It uses some kind of words that after some time you will like see like, yeah, that's not the human talk. That's something created by ChatGPT. You can affect that. You can ask ChatGPT to provide an answer in some specific, like, I don't know, like describe me as I'm 10 years old, or like describe this as a professor of something. But if you're doing that without any modifiers, you will still see that the person is reading something created by ChatGPT, and it's not their own words. So we will need to take that into account when we do the interviews. We need to understand that these techniques will improve, and they will use that more careful, that will be not wearing glasses, and they will be like turning the screens away, and they will be using probably audio like helpers who will be like dictating something
that establish eye contact, and reduces noise of your keyboard typing.
Exactly. So you can do a lot in order to like cheat more efficiently. So, and people tend to cheat. Like let's be honest. We see that a lot as interviewers, and so that will complicate things for us who do the interviews, and for interviewers from other companies as well. And in terms of for the candidates, that will also be the problem, because there will be more checks for the candidate. You will be like, sitting in a specific room. You will need you're on the stress enough, and you are now even less trusted because the interviewer thinks that you will be cheating, and you have now more tools to cheat. So I don't think that benefits the industry overall, but this is the world we are living in right now. So yeah, Michal, I'm passing this ball to you right now.
You rather covered a lot of the things, but yeah, HR part, let's say, checking the technical knowledge of the candidate at the beginning can be quite useful, in my opinion, because first they don't need to learn the crazy things, which we fortunately or unfortunately need to know. But at the same time, I cannot imagine that AI will verify the human from, let's say, you fit our company or not, you not fit the company because you behave in that way. I think this is still something which should stay for humans. Definitely. And regarding the cheating, come on. At university, I get much more working projects than in previous years. Starting, let's say, starting with era of ChatGPT.
So you assume your students are better, right?
At the same time, I have quite easy way to create a test for the students, because I can ask ChatGPT, please generate me 50 or 70 questions, then go through it, select 20. Oh, they are awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. And it's much faster than spending time and thinking, okay, what should I ask?
So now ChatGPT checks other ChatGPT. I mean, like ChatGPT on one side tries to verify that ChatGPT on the other side knows the information you're asking for. This is the reality we are living right now.
Yeah. On the other hand, I think last week or the previous week, I asked ChatGPT to generate me really crazy programming tasks for programming paradigms. And let's say it starts with easy task to some very, very hard. It was quite interesting, to be honest, review this kind of challenges. And to be honest, the problem which I first faced personally, some questions were asked in the way that, for me, it was not clear what exactly these tasks means, because it searched for some specific problem which was solved in one paper or something like that. And use the terminology which was totally unknown even for me. And this was one of the problems when I try to generate the tasks for the students.
Yeah.
So, guys, we have 5 minutes maybe for Kahoot. Maybe the last question for you. How do you keep up with news, with industry? What channels, maybe what videos, what video channels do you watch? What articles do you read? What can you suggest here? And maybe with this question, additional question already, what recent interesting news you read about AI startup or tool, anything related to this?
I would say that we have a really interesting resource to read. It's something happening on the Medium, which I'm like, sorry, like something like that. Like this guy is maintaining.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
Yeah, and
subscribe.
one shameless plug from my side would be mobilepeople.news website, which currently probably Apple only right now, but we will probably work on that as well. So we have a couple of resources. Which
I'm creating AI for that.
Okay, that will help. So we have a couple of places where you can get the news, and well, I mean, just again, mobilepeople.news is the resource. The Apple portion of that resource is maintained by me, so I'm like all the news related to Apple platforms is happening there. And yeah, our Medium presence is also really great because there are a lot of technical articles there, and I think we have something on AI, like several of those on AI there too. And speaking of the AI generally in the industry, yeah, well, I mean, there are a lot of news resources and a couple of conferences happening right now with in regards to OpenAI, new inventions and like other platforms. So I don't say I have like specific tool for the AI. I try to keep up with all the news in the industry, and that's from like, I don't know, Bloomberg, Verge, to some specific blogs of engineers. I mean, I'm following the Apple machine learning research blog. So I'm not reading the articles they post there because they are essentially posting their like science papers there, like, and that's probably too high level for me to get into that and understand why their new parameter tuning for specific model improves the performance, and they have an explanation there. But I'm trying to look into that and see where it's actually going to. So what's happening overall there? Like what's how they evolve these machines. So and like as a recent news, I would probably mention, as I said, there are a couple of rumors that Apple is not giving up on the generative AI, and they are currently running something internally. We are not sure, so these are rumors. It's not like confirmed information, but there are a lot of talks that the next year's operating systems for the Apple platforms will include some kind of GPT or like other large language models embedded, and they will be doing something there. Hopefully, again, I say hopefully, we will see Siri as a new thing. Passing the word to Michal.
Okay, so regarding the sources, yeah. Medium, of course, the articles which we generate by AI, and hope that the news quite soon also about Android, Flutter, and other will be on our page with small support of AI. So let's see how it goes. Probably starting next week, or the week after. Depends when I finish my scripts. And regarding, let's say, the sources of the knowledge, I really try to try the things on my own, and usually check what new plugins or the trends appears in case of AI. Unfortunately, we have, let's say, a lot of scenarios that, okay, plugin is ChatGPT and something on top of it, which use the AI to solve the problem. So in most of the cases, it's not the way to go. But at the same time, let's say from the news perspective, or maybe the trends perspective, I see a lot of countries, including Poland, start to work on GPT models for their language. So to make it more lang oriented. And I think this is the quite good trend, because the main issue which I see with the ChatGPT is that we have all these tokens, things, etc. And if we use some different language than English, it usually consume much more tokens, which means that you can ask shorter prompts or get much worse answers if you are using different language than English. And this is, I think, the good trend which appearing nowadays. From AI perspective, also the trend which is more focused on the privacy, quite important thing, which is missing nowadays in many cases. Now we discussed the tools which we can use, but still, having this kind of tools is quite expensive because you need to have your own infrastructure. And if these two things will be addressed quite soon, I think we will get much more AI users, so much more content generated by AI in future, unfortunately. Or fortunately. Or in worst case scenario, Skynet.
On this positive note, let's finish our discussion. Guys, thank you.
Thank you, guys. That
Such
was
a
a
decent-
Always
interesting talk.
say thank you to the ChatGPT. You never know
an AI hype.
Yeah.
what
Okay,
will be the
well.
algorithm to eliminate us. He never say thank you.
Thank you, guys. So let's pass the word to Svetlana, and Svetlana will continue with Kahoot Quiz.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
bye-bye.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you
guys.
guys. Thank you so much. Okay, and now let me share with you this slide. And our final activity for today, it will be game quiz on the platform Kahoot. So could you please take your mobile phone, find the website www.kahoot.it and write game pin. Now I will show you another. Okay, Kahoot. This one, yeah. So I can see 6 people. So let's wait a little bit. So you just need to write your email and create name. And if you need any help, you can write in chat and I will try to help you. And our game pin, thank you. I can see one person. 3577860. Or you can use QR code. And maybe let me remind you again, a website www.kahoot.it. And here you can need to write your email, your name, and game pin. I can see 2 people. Okay, let's wait. Maybe others are also trying to be with us today. I can see Muthu and Aikaimen. Okay, man, I hope. Okay. 2 people. Okay, maybe let's. Victor, hello. You have a great picture. Okay. And now let me tell you what it will be about. So on your screen, you can see 12 questions about our community, and about this panel discussion. And you can see 4 possible answers. So on the screen, you can see the text, and on your mobile phone, you can see colors, of these buttons. So, and you just need to click just one, and I hope that it will be the correct answer. And I think that maybe let's wait 1 minute, and after that we will start. Because I can see 3 people, but in general we have 5. But let's wait a little bit. Okay, so I think that maybe we can start, and let me start. So the first question is, how many people in our core team? 4, 8, 2, or 6? Okay, we have 1 correct answer. It was Muthu. Congratulations. And let's go to the next question. Our business value is acquisition, support, engagement, or product? Yeah, let's see. Okay, man. Okay, question number 3. With which technology we don't work? iOS, .NET, Flutter, or .NET Mobile? Okay, Muthu. Okay. Let's go to the question number 4. In which country we still don't have a chapter? Maybe it will be difficult because Oh, maybe not. Because it was just 1 slide about this. Oh, okay. Great. Okay, Victor. Okay. Okay, question number 5. What social media platform is our community not yet on? Telegram, Twitter, YouTube, or Instagram? tricky question. It was Instagram. Okay, we have Telegram channel. Okay. Okay, question number 6. How many community members do we have at the current moment? Maybe you remember. Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. Let's go to the question number 7. Which organization developed ChatGPT? Maybe you know. Microsoft, OpenAI, Facebook, or maybe it's Google. Yeah, it was easy. Okay. Let's go to the next question. DALL-E is associated with which type of AI task? Maybe you know this AI tool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's image generation from textual descriptions. Okay. Mudho on the first place. Okay, let's see. Number 9. In the context of AI, what does fine tuning mean? A, B, C, or D? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Okay. Victor has the highest answer streak of 3. Okay, question number 10. In machine learning, what does training refer to? Physical exercises for engineers, teaching humans, the process of teaching a model using data, or writing code? Mm-hmm. It's not physical exercise for engineers. Okay, let's go to the next question. Maybe you know this. GPT. Oh, we even have not correct answer. Okay. Okay, and now let's go to the next one. And it's the last question. Which terms are associated with YI models' incorrect outputs? A, B, C, or D? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was correct answer is A. Okay, and let's see our podium. On the third place, it's okay, man. Sorry. Okay, on the second place, it's Victor. And on the first place is Muthu. Congratulations. Okay, so and that brings us to the end of our event. And if you have feeling that you would like to try the role of our contributor, yeah, or speaker, let me share with you again our presentation. Mm-hmm. So I will share with you this form, this link for this form, and you can submit it. Let me post it. So, and about our channels. So if you would like to add for any of them, we have DL, we have Telegram, Twitter, we have community page, YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. If you want to join, please join. And if you have any issues with this, please contact me directly, and I will be happy to add you. On that note, I would like to thank you for joining us today and wish you an incredible day and hope to see you at our next event. Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah, thank you. Uh-huh. Yeah, Victor, thank you so much too. Yeah, and congratulations to the winner. Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.